years ago, there was a gentleman in the hot seat asking Abraham, how do
Mhm.
I get the big money, the really big money? And the answer that came back to him was, stop referring to it as big or rare or
Excellent.
special. So I'm asking for your take on this conversation. What can you give us that will help us to bridge the gap between where we are and what we want? And any thoughts you have on that conversation?
So, this, we like to say sensationalism about bigness and grandeur type of feeling is what really moves humanity in its physical form and actually any focusing mechanism to experience more and more and more in physicality. This part that is actually carrying out the receiving of the thoughts and then putting them into steps. This, some humans call that ego as well. Super important for this experience. And the experience of big or small comes only from comparison. Comparison of what is happening in your experience and what you observe in somebody else's experience. So, when it comes to this big chunk of money that inevitably has gap in between, it's also about the flow that precedes it. What is the amount that will give the next satisfying experience? What is the amount of time? What is the amount of money? What is the amount of conversations with other people? What is the amount of time on our own? So, the feeling of always being in this sweet spot of satisfaction makes any of these bigger claims, so to speak, eventually become just a game that you are playing. It's interesting how this feeling is being generated. Kosta and Arman have made a little change in their lifestyle over the last few months, and from the outside perspective of financials flowing through in combination with their experience given the circumstance, in any regular context, this would be a huge downgrade, the huge cut in experience. However, the feeling of being in a spot that's so lovely, having everything that's necessary at the moment, being in awareness of that feeling, all of a sudden started propelling new and new and new ideas that all of a sudden started creating some uh, amazing manifestations. What we're trying to say with this is that that big money that you're talking about is already there. And we're not talking just about vibrational experience of that. We're talking about its physicality. It is there. You just want to be able to shift yourself from the vibration of the question when it comes to this topic and get yourself in a more and more satisfying spot where the path is going to unfold to you to actually start seeing glimpses, smaller parts of that big sum until you eventually have that sum as well, which will be just a very temporary, brief moment before you're gonna go into the next and into the next and into the next. So, that explanation you've gathered from the experience you were observing was about gradual, consistent, and constant increase of satisfaction that does that and create momentum on any topic, including money.